Right. So, hi everybody that might be watching. Once again, Josh isn't here. We're going to record something different for once. It's not going to be Star Trek Attack Wing. We've actually got a game of Horus Heresy. It won't be the whole thing because Horus Heresy will take about 2.5 hours, and that will absolutely ruin my hard drive. So, um, yeah, I'm going to go through my army, and I'm being joined by Tom, who I've known for a really long time. You can say hello if you want.
All right, I suppose if I have to. Hello, everybody.
So it's a 1600-ish point game. It's roughly equal, but it's only it's a Saturday. We're gonna probably have lots of tea and maybe a beer or two later. I don't know, and just have some fun. So my army is the Mechanicum, and I will just go through all of the units involved. So I have. I've taken the the auto reductor army list, which slightly changes the army, adds a couple of units and a couple of special rules, and it's definitely loyalist. My first HQ is Magos Reductor Caleb Decima. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He won't be offended because he's a plastic model. So he's the character that was on the 63rd Expeditionary Fleet. He was a loyalist, sent down to Isfan 3, survived, rebuilt his body, which is why I'm not using the model that Forgeworld suggests. I'm actually using the new plastic Tech Priest model from Games Workshop, slightly converted to have a more appropriate axe. And I've given him the upgrade. It's 45 points to basically show him having rebuilt himself. It gives him Eternal Warrior and Hatred of all traitors.
Nice.
My second HQ is a Magos Dominus, and he's got a Architect pistol. Obviously, you'll see on the picture I'm using the little guy from the Castellan Robots box set because I haven't actually got the full Mechanicum army at the moment, and also the Magos Dominus from Forgeworld isn't my favourite model. I think Games Workshop's doing a little bit better with their Tech Priest models.
I completely agree with you on that front.
So yeah, that's probably going to stay like that for a while until I have a spare 22 quid.
Yeah.
So as for troops, I don't have any elites, so straight on to troops. I've got 10 tech rules, and I've given them a few upgrades. So they've got the Right of Pure Thought, giving them Fearless, which is almost a must with that unit. I've given them Carapace Armor and another upgrade that gives them a 5+ Feel No Pain. So they're kind of just a unit that will sit on an objective and not be moved, unless you want to kill all of them. I'm sure you'll try it because of what you have. My second troops unit is a small Thalax cohort. They have the upgrade that allows them to deep strike and a multi-melter, and the two other guys have got heavy chain blades. Then I've got a bigger unit of Thalax, so they have the upgrade that gives them tank hunters, and a pair of plasma fusils, and the 4 normal guys with lightning guns also have heavy chain blades. Again, it's kind of I needed to spend some points, but I also think having strength 7 and AP 4 on a combat unit, or not a combat unit, it's kind of, I think they've only got 1 or 2 attacks each, but it's still better than the strength 5 AP nothing. Even if you haven't got any 4+ saves, it's gonna
the Adeptus Mechanicus are one of those armies that don't have a massive amount of actual combat.
Yeah.
They're good at shooting and good at being quite quick, but actual dedicated combat, they don't have many units. So I understand what you took.
So the next one is a bit of a points filler again, although they are a good unit. It's a Castellex Automata unit. I'm using the Games Workshop Castellan Robots. Eventually I will be getting the Castellex models, but at the moment these ones will do. Because I have them already, and they have no upgrades really. They're just out of the book with nothing. So then I have a Magos Auto Reductor. That's the one. Artillery tank. This is probably the poorest looking model in the army, to be honest. I've sort of quickly painted it up because I needed to fill up points. Again, it's a sort of running theme in this army. And I've given it, it's a Medusa. It's got a Medusa siege gun and a heavy bolter, and that's it. But could be useful. Can't really stick your nose up at a strength 10 AP1 or AP2 large blast.
Well, you can't, but I will be.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll
definitely be sticking my nose at that filthy that you have.
Yeah, So I then have 3 Myrmidon Destructors, and they have the I can't remember what the gun I called them was. It is the Photon Thruster, I think. It's an AP2 gun. I don't have a lot of AP2 in this army, so and they are, as you can see in the models, I am being a bit cheeky and using some of Warlord Games' GAR models that I had spare, converted with Games Workshop parts. I think that might be some kind of heresy, but we are playing Horus Heresy. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of bad blood between Games Workshop and Warlord Games. So that's a bit dodgy. I'm sure neither company would enjoy those conversions. But I don't care.
To piss everyone off.
Exactly. Hey. I don't care too much because eventually I will get the Myrmidon Destructor models. But again, these ones fit the bill fine. They look like something that Mechanicum would make. And they're sort of going to fill more of a support role, as I think my whole army is basically support. And the final model is one that I'm quite proud of. It is the Krios Venator tank. So it's got a pulsar fusel, which is a nice strength 9 AP2 4 shots ordnance. It doesn't do a blast, but it's just like you want a tank dead. That will kill it. It's got a flare shield at the front, which gives it effective front armor 14. And it's just an awesome looking model. I love how open it is, and sort of the fact that it's got 1 crew member, which is a little tech priest at the back. And yeah, that's my army. So I will just get Tom to go through what he has.
Nice. Well, thanks for explaining that, Rupert, and also giving me a bit of an idea of what this thing does, because that is utterly filthy army. So today I'll be using my Sons of Horus, an army I've recently just finished painting. So up from my HQ, I have a Legion Praetor with a mastercrafted Paragon Blade. Now I've based this guy after a Justarian character called Callus Icadon from the first Horus Heresy book, who was leader of the Catalan Reavers of the Justarian. That's why he's painted up all black with the red shoulder pads.
And also because it looks cool. Because let's face it, the rule of cool trumps everything, I think. Like, you can make a horrible army, but if it looks cool, then it doesn't matter how it performs on the table. So I've got him in my HQ with a jump pack and digital lasers for the extra attack. So moving on to elites, I have a 5-man Justarian Terminator squad, all with 2 wounds, which should make them pretty effective in combat. Given 3 of them combi plasmas and 2 of them power fists. That way they should be able to take on any kind of unit, or just sit on an objective and tank wounds with their 4 up invulnerable save, 2 up armor. Admittedly, it's going to be horrible.
It's a horrible unit, but you pay the points for it. And again, the models are just beautiful, so I had to buy them when I started this army. Now, moving on to troops. No, actually, I do have another elite. I've got a Contemptor Dreadnought with extra armor, Dreadnought close combat weapon, and a Contemptor Chain Fist.
Nice.
So the plan is to try and get them as close as physically possible to your tanks and just utterly ruin them. Because strength 10 with 2d6 armor penetration is it's obnoxious. It is overkill of the basis standard, but I built this guy so he could take on Spartan assault tanks.
I'm sure he will.
At some point he will, and when I get to my fast attack choice, you'll realise why. So then moving on to my troops, I've just got 2 10-man Legion tactical squads, both of which I've given the extra close combat weapon attachments to, mainly because it makes them look that little bit more brutal and aggressive, but also it really plays into the Sons of Horus merciless fighters rules, because if I can whittle my opponents down, then at initiative 1 I'll get an extra attack as well by outnumbering them. 1 sergeant just with a power sword and the other with a lightning claw. Nice. Again, not the best weapon or points effective, but it just looks cool and really looks like the old Chaos Space Marine pointy power fist from 40k. So, I really wanted to try and make this army look like it would eventually become what you've seen of so many Chaos armies for a 40k game. One of them, they've got a Rhino transport for with extra armor and a pintle-mounted multi-melter. Again, just a little bit of anti-tank, just as something to keep the squad alive. So moving on to my fast attack choices, I've got a Reaver attack squad that I've given all jump packs to, just to make them a little bit quick and to use as a bit of a bully unit. So isolate weak troops near the opponent's board edges and just engage them in combat as soon as possible, whilst trying to keep them hidden. It's also where my Praetor will be going, so he can outflank with them if necessary.
Of course.
And come flying in from the side of the board. And just, again, I think it fits in really nicely with the Sons of Horus sort of background, that they're isolating weak points in the enemy army and hitting it really powerfully.
Yeah.
So, next up for my fast attack choice, I have an Anvilus Pattern Dreadclaw. I've taken this as a fast attack rather than a dedicated transport, so I can decide what unit to put in there depending on the circumstance or the mission that comes across. Now, I have lovingly named this thing the Sphincter of Destruction, thanks to the lovely little iris at the bottom of it. It basically drops down and poos out a horrible unit. So, yeah, I love this thing. It's really weird, it's massive, and apparently a flyer, which makes absolutely no sense because it just drops down. So I like the idea of it just sort of bouncing around and pulling out a horrible unit that can then charge into combat and smash things up. So yeah, I've coined it here, the Sphincter of Destruction. And another fast attack choice, I have the beautiful Forgeworld Javelin Landspeeder with a twinning las cannon and a heavy bolter. It's probably the nicest model I've ever had to paint, as I was saying to you earlier, Rupert.
Yep.
And again, fairly cheap, and it has the ability to outflank, so I can try and get into a decent shooting position and hit things inside armour, which will be pretty useful against your flare shield.
Yeah, I have to say I really like the addition of the trophy rack at the front. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, as I said, I've tried to make this army look as brutal as possible. So just one gilded skull mounted on the rack, as though I like the idea that at some point they've managed to completely outflank an enemy position and taken out some kind of important HQ.
Yeah,
I'm having that head. A bit like at the beginning of Fury, where Brad Pitt jumps out and kills the German commander and stabs him with his knife. That kind of. It's a personal trophy. And that brings me to my final selection, and I have a Legion Vindicator for my heavy support, my only heavy support's choice. And I've given it extra armour and also the Power of the Machine Spirit upgrade.
Cool.
Because I like because it's only got a range 24 gun, which obviously in most games is just not enough to really support the rest of my army. It's just, you need to get it as close as possible. So with Power of the Machine Spirit, I can plough forward 12 inches and then still fire the gun, giving it an effective 24-inch range.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So, I say 24, 36.
Yeah.
Did a Diane Abbott. So
I'll take that little bit out.
Don't. So yeah, that's my 1600 point army. Yeah. So God knows how it's actually going to work, because I've had to whittle it down a little bit today.
Well, what happened there is I was supposed to have a squad of Secutari in my army, and I got about halfway here and didn't have them with me. And it's probably an hour's walk to get from my flat to where Tom lives, so I'm not going back.
No.
That would add another hour to the journey, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I can forgive you this time. Just, buy the beers next time.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is the next thing you'll see will be after the deployment's done, and we'll just sort of discuss the deployment a little bit.
Fantastic.
And there'll be bits and pieces from the game, sort of a highlight reel more than an actual complete video of the game, because like I said, that will just wipe out my hard drive, and I don't have an external hard drive at the moment.
And also be incredibly boring for the viewers.
Oh God, yeah.
Most of this is sitting watching other people roll dice and go, well, that squad's dead. That squad's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would be no fun. But the interesting stuff, like some important combats, should be pretty cool.
Yeah. There'll be an overview of each turn. I think I'll probably do that.
Nice.
So we'll just sort of talk about what's happening, that. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. So deployment's all done now. We are playing a Maelstrom mission, which is the cleanse and control mission. I'm not sure if it's house ruled or not, but I think we normally do only troops score. I'm assuming you're okay with that.
With the Horus Heresy, it's actually a rule that only troops score unless they have implacable advance, in which case they're not a troops unit, but they do count as scoring for holding objectives. Everything else is a denial unit.
Yeah. Which makes things really interesting. We played Horus Heresy with Maelstrom missions quite a lot in the past. It tends to be really good fun. And the whole idea of Maelstrom missions, as far as I'm aware, it's stayed for 8th edition.
Oh, fantastic.
And I love them. I think the way it keeps the game fluidly moving is really good.
It stops it becoming just a mash-up in the middle and I'm going to throw everything at you. It's, becomes more tactical because you have to split your force and decide whether you want to go for that objective and score a point, or whether you can be more aggressive and try and wipe out your opponent.
Yeah. So I've got most of my stuff on the table with the exception of the deep striking multi-melter Thalax cohort. Everything, yeah, it's all there. There'll be a picture up on the screen at the moment showing what's going on. Tom, talk us through your deployment.
Okay, I've gone for a slightly more Spartan aspect to my deployment. I've put both my troops down and the Vindicator, whereas everything else is left in reserve, with my Praetor joining the Reavers, and they are going to outflank. The Javelin Landspeeder is also going to outflank, and the Contemptor Dreadnought is in the Sphincter of Destruction. Yeah. And that finally leaves the Justarian Terminators. And my Praetor got the Voidwalker perk for his Warlord trait, which means I can nominate one unit and give them Deep Strike. So I naturally chose the Justarian Terminators.
Of course. So the deployment we got was Vanguard Strike, so it's a little bit difficult to film this one. But we'll move the camera around as it goes on. I currently have first turn, however, we're definitely going to film a bit of the first turn, if not all of it. And Tom has a steal the initiative dice, assuming you want to.
I'm definitely going to try. So, wish me luck, Rupert.
Well, I don't want you. No.
Aha!
So,
Good
if
luck.
you can't see that on the screen, Tom has just stolen the initiative.
There you go.
Luckily, he hasn't got a lot on the table, so it's not going to be the worst first turn for me, but it's still going to be painful.
Hopefully.
Especially with that Vindicator there.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Right, so I'm going to start as I mean to go on. Play in true Sons of Horus style. So I'm going to start by moving my Rhino and doing a dangerous terrain test to go through the building.
It's fine.
Roll a 3, so you can go 12 inches straight through to there. Now, what he's going to do is just pop some smoke. So then, gaining his 4 up cover save, 5 up cover
It's
save.
a 5 up, yeah.
5 up cover save. Just makes him a little bit more survivable for this
Yeah.
turn. Also going to spread out my tactical squad a little bit. And pivot. Oh, I'll finish my moving first, but I haven't pulled any of my Maelstrom objectives yet. But getting away with myself. So the Vindicator is going to go 12 inches to there.
Yep.
Right, and I might as well now pull my 3 cards. So, first one is Seize Ground. Score D3 victory markers if you control. D3 victory points if you control any 3 victory objective markers at the end of your turn.
Okay.
No prisoners. Score 1 victory point if an enemy unit was completely destroyed during your turn. If you complete destroy between 3 and 5, score D3.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. And finally, Harness the Warp, so I won't be using that. As neither of us have psychers, we tend to just bin off the ones regarding psychic powers straight away.
Yeah, flyers are often the case with that as well.
And Domination, one that I will never get, is score D3 plus 3 victory points if you control every objective marker on the table at the end of your turn. So I will be binning that off at the end of mine.
Okay.
So I've done all my moving. I've got my objectives. So I suppose that brings me straight onto the shooting phase.
Yep.
I don't think my tactical squad are in range of anything. So they're just going to stand there quite comfortably.
Okay.
But my Vindicator is going to fire.
Of course it is.
So I've moved 12 inches. And I'm going to use Power of the Machine Spirit.
Yep.
To fire a blast template right on the middle of your Castellex Battle Automata. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so it scatters that way 2 inches, which should still, so on from his head, it should still.
It's actually a better hit. So it's like that.
Okay, so that's hit all 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
So 3 hits, needing 2s.
So 3 wounds.
3 wounds and 3 cover saves.
So they've actually got 5 plus invulnerable save.
They are, yeah, you'll need the invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Because they are monstrous creatures.
Yes.
So they need more than that for their cover.
Uh,
Oh, you've.
So I've just rolled 3 5s. But he did seize the initiative with 6.
Yeah. Well,
Select automatons are not a nice unit to be against.
which is quite lucky, Rupert, because you are not a nice person to play against. So,
Oh.
so as I don't have much on the table, that is actually the end of my shooting phase. So at the end of my turn, I'm going to bin off Domination, which is to score every objective on the table, which I can't do. I don't have enough troops.
Yep.
So I'm binning that off, and we'll draw a fresh one next turn. So,
Okay. So my 3 objectives. First one, I can actually put it there. Secure objective 1. Second one, secure objective 5. And the third one is Ascendancy, which is score D3 victory points if you control any 3 objective markers at the end of your turn.
Cool.
Did you get 3?
I forgot to put the Dreadclaw down.
Okay.
It needs to come down turn 1. It has drop pod assault.
You can put it down somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. Do you want to pause this for a second?
Yeah. To that slight error, Tom, I've shuffled my cards back in so that Tom doesn't know what I'm going to be doing next turn. And he's going to put his Dreadclaw down somewhere.
Yeah, thank you for letting me off with that, Rupert.
That's all right.
So I'm going to be very aggressive. Put it right in your back lines there.
Does this scatter full distance?
It's got the inertial guidance system.
Okay.
So it's scattered off the board.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
to the deep strike mishap table. Look at that. If I could get any kind of punishment for failing to put this down on the first turn, rolling a scatter towards the board edge and 2 6s. Perfect.
2.
2. Misplaced.
Okay.
You can deploy it anywhere on the table.
So I will put it up nicely.
So
I'm going to be nice. I'm just going to put it over here because I want to see it actually affect the game.
Okay.
So the Dreadnought doesn't disembark until next turn, does it? Okay. So my turn, drawing 3 new objectives.
Yep.
I have secure objective 4. Demolitions, which I will immediately discard because there are no buildings for us to demolish on the table. Which is replaced by Harness the Warp, which again I will immediately discard because none of us have Psychers. Followed by secure objective 1. And Big Game Hunter, which is Killer Vehicle.
Nice.
Or a monstrous creature, but you don't have one of those at the moment.
No.
So my movement phase, I will start with the larger Thalax cohort moving. Secure objective 4, I need that one, I've got it because of the classical X. So these guys will move over to here. Followed by the Krios, which is actually a fast vehicle, which is quite cool.
Oh dear. That's going to cause me issues.
Goes there. These guys will stay where they are. And the Medusa, 36-inch range, which almost covers it up to there, which means it will move its 6 inches to there. Putting it just in range of your Rhino.
Okay.
Only that corner, but the text rules will stay exactly where they are because they're doing their job at the moment. Right, onto my shooting phase. I haven't got anything, nobody's got any cycles on the table, which makes things a bit quicker. I will start with the Krios firing at your Vindicator because that Vindicator is going to be a problem.
Oh god.
So
Go
4 shots.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s, so they all hit. Now, because it's ordnance, each one of these dice roll, each hit I roll 2 dice, pick the highest from penetration, and it's strength 9. So on an armor 13, I'm needing a 4 to glance.
Yep.
So the first one doesn't do anything. The second one doesn't do anything. The third one does nothing, and the fourth one glances it.
Wow, so it is a spectacular first outing
Oh,
for Krios.
God, yeah, it's great.
I love that it is living up to the classic new model syndrome.
Yep. It's also one that I spent a good week working on painting, so it's
yeah,
it's going to do that.
It's got to find a way to let you down somehow.
Exactly.
Go for it.
So that's 1 whole point on your Vindicator.
Yep. So if I put this here, that he has 2 left.
Cool. So next, I may as well have the Talax cohort firing at it.
Okay.
Their guns, I believe, have an 18-inch range. So there's not a lot to fire at them, but they are tank hunters with strength 7, so it could do a nice little bit of damage.
Cool.
And that is 4 lightning guns in range. Okay, hitting on 3s.
Okay.
All
hits. No, apart from 1 miss.
Yep. And tank hunters needing 6s to glance you, 1 glance and 2 rerolls. 2 glances.
2 glances.
And from there, you are getting a cover save.
Okay, so 2 cover saves against your glances. 1 saved and 1 goes through.
Okay, so it's got 1 whole point left. Which I need to find out if those plasma fusils are in range. So bear with me. There's going to be another bit. There's going to be a few bits that I'm going to cut out of the video.
I do have the Horus Heresy books, don't forget, Rupert, if they would work for a quicker reference.
Well, plasma fusils are in a weird place, unfortunately. Just depends. Actually, no, they're strength 6, so there's no point in even looking it up. So that was a minor waste of time. Right. So next, the Medusa will fire.
Medusa.
And it's not really an arc of your Vindicator, so it's going to fire at the Rhino, which is its original target.
Okay.
You can only really fire at this corner, and that is a hit.
Nice.
So ordnance strength 10.
Goes
so that penetrates.
Okay.
See if you save it.
5 up cover, which fails.
Okay. And
Barrage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A 2. So that is with extra armor as well. AP 2 goes up to a 3. It's basically snap firing next turn.
No,
that's the only real effect of it.
Yep.
I think all of my stuff that's actually effective against you is not really doing what it's supposed to. These guys probably aren't in range, but they're securing an objective at the moment. Myrmidons only have a range of 24 inches, so that could. What's the armor on your?
It's 12 all round with 3 hull points. It's the same as a drop pod, except the doors don't open, and it is counted as a flyer with hover mode.
Because it's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay, I'm just going to check up on their guns. I know they have lance weaponry, which is an interesting choice. So it is 48 inch range. That's a bit better. Strength 6, AP 2, Heavy 2, Lance, Blind, and Gets Hot.
Okay.
So 2 of them can see your drop pod.
Okay.
So 2 hits.
No worries.
Strength 6, so 6 glances. No.
No glancing.
And the 2s don't get hot. And then the Mauler bolt cannons on the.
I believe they're strength 6, AP 3.
Yes, they should be. I just need to find the range on
Do
them.
they have a 36 range?
Exactly. As might be obvious here, I'm not the most experienced at using this army at the moment. I've only been playing it. I've had about 2 games with it so far. So Mauler bolt cannon, strength 6, AP 3, 24 inch range, heavy 1 pinning. So the only thing it might be in range with is your Rhino.
Heavy 1?
What, is it heavy 1?
No.
Heavy 3, I was reading that wrong.
Yeah, they're not.
So 1, 2, 3, 6, hitting you on 3s.
Yep.
For 2 hits.
Okay.
Wonderful. And nothing. So that's my first turn done. It was a pretty ineffectual first turn for me, but
oh, it seems to be that way on both sides.
Actually, I do have one more thing.
A bit of a tickling at each
They have their jump back move.
Okay.
Which is going 5.
During the assault phase.
Yeah, it is.
Running away.
Of course.
That was a pretty solid first turn, both sides.
Yeah,
Nothing really
so
happened.
what I'm going to do now is start recording for the third turn, so we'll skip the second turn. We'll just have a little update on what happened, because otherwise this will make this video horrendously long. But yeah,
Okay, brilliant.
cool. Yeah, so just briefly go over your turn. It is recording.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so my turn started by bringing on all 3 of my reserve units without any need for rerolls or anything. So the Justarian came down and they managed to score a hit on their deep strike right behind Rupert's HQ choice. The Javelin Land Speeder rolled the outflank roll to come on to the far side of me, so his right hand side, and get nicely behind for a rear shot onto his tank. And unfortunately my Praetor rolled a 1, so he came on the other side of the table to L1 to them with his units, and they're now going to have to try and slog it across the battlefield to get into anywhere.
They've got jump backs, I'm sure they'll be fine.
You say that, but you've got some horrible ordnance. Phil, so, literally,
I had some horrible ordnance.
You had some horrible ordnance. We're going to get to that, though. Other than that, I had my tactical squad in the middle to start advancing up, supporting everything, and the Vindicator move into a slightly more secure position. Also, the Ambulance Pattern Dreadclaw moved a little bit closer to his lines, and the Contemptor Dreadnought, he disembarked, ready for a charge on Rupert's Medusa. My shooting was fairly ineffective. The Javelin failed to do any damage to the Krios. Luckily, Rupert made his invulnerable save. And the Justarian Terminators managed to roll 3 1s for their overheating plasma guns. Luckily, no wounds, but still quite annoying. And the highlight of the turn would have to be the combat phase, where the Contemptor Dreadnought got into combat with the Medusa and scored 5 hits. And with the Chain Fist, they all automatically penetrated because of its 2d6 strength 10.
It would have done it on the strength 10 anyway.
It would have done it on the strength 10, but it's still quite nice to do that. And yeah, forced that to explode and cause one wound to the Myrmidons.
Yeah.
Causing 1 wound to the Myrmidons. And now that's the end of my turn. Everything is going according to plan.
Cool, so on to my turn then.
Go for it.
Right, so my turn 2, little retrospective of it as well. About as effective as my first turn, really. My 3-man Thanax cohort didn't deep strike, so they're still in reserve. I did some shooting, and it didn't do anything, really. My Krios, just like last turn, hit all 4 times, and all 4 of them failed to glance his Vindicator. It did, however, move back to sort of just get away from any horrible charging Vindicators, or not Dreadnoughts, or his Vindicator firing at it.
Also, that Javelin getting a rear armour shot.
Yes, which is a annoying thing. Now you're not getting the rear armour, your last guns will probably kill it, though.
Yeah, probably.
So after my pretty bad shooting phase, I went for some charges. My 6-man Thanax cohort with tank hunters and heavy chain blades finished the job that they started on the Vindicator, the job that my Krios couldn't do, even though it's a dedicated tank hunting vehicle.
Yep. New model syndrome.
Oh yeah, it's going to get bad. My Myrmidons and HQ choice, or my Warlord, charged into his Justarian. They'd already killed one with the shooting, which was kind of cool because the Archmagos did it with his bolt pistol, and that's always sort of nice sort of execution type role. They managed to kill 2 of them with their power fists, and Tom killed 1 in return. Passed his leadership test though, so he's still on board, and the combat goes on, which might be to my advantage, depends how his charges work later on. Yeah, that's the end of my turn. I'm going to record turn 3 like I did for turn 1. So yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Right, so at the beginning of my turn, I will draw my next objective card, which is score 1 victory point if I saw the objective marker 5 at the end of my turn, which happens to be right there.
Okay.
So nice in front of me. I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting turn. So I'm going to start with the Rhino here.
Yep.
I'm going to move it no more than 6 inches. So this is going to go to there and pivot.
Yep.
The squad inside are going to disembark, so I'll roll their difficult terrain now, so they can get out up to 5.
Cool.
So they're going to nicely disembark and jump straight onto that objective.
Yep.
Okay, so that's that squad done, which frees me up nicely to move the Reaver attack squad around here. Excuse me, Rupert.
Yep.
So, start you mean to go on.
Here it
They're
comes.
using their jump packs to move rather than to charge, just so they can get that little bit of extra movement to get close to you.
Yeah, it's normally the safe bet with jump infantry these days.
Yeah, I mean, if you're close enough, it's great to just walk it and then jump, use your packs to assault, because you get the hammer of wrath and the rerolls. But at that long distance, it's just worth trying to get a bit closer. So that's them. The tactical squad here, which is this squad.
Yep.
So break it off from there. They're going to stay still.
Okay.
And that leaves nicely the Contemptor, which is going to charge 6 inches that way.
Here it comes.
The Anvilus pattern, which is going to zoom up to 36, which is actually right into the corner if I need to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go slightly closer than that.
Does it have to have a front with it?
Which goes here, and it's any unit for the fire sweep that it passes directly over.
Okay.
So it's just passed over them, so I'm going to do the fire sweep attack, which is D6 hits on the unit for 1 hit.
Okay.
And it's strength 5, AP 5
Yep.
with no cover save. So what toughness are you?
Toughness 4. I may well.
Toughness 4 for the tech thralls. So
Yeah, I'm just going to check. They've got some pretty. They're sort of. They don't ever do anything,
Okay.
but that includes dying. I've given them all the upgrades to make them decent. No, they're toughness 3.
Toughness 3?
Yeah, that is.
And what armour save they got?
They have a 4+ armour save because I give them carapace armour and a 5+ feel no pain. So they save the armour.
Save the arms. No problem with that. So that's moved. That's moved. That's ready to fire. And that leaves just the javelin. Who, just because I like to keep moving, it's going to go to there.
Okay.
Try again.
It'll probably succeed this time.
Okay, so I'm going to start shooting them.
Yep.
I'll start with the Reaver squad, just because I might as well give that a go. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 bolt pistols.
Yep.
6, 8 bolt pistols, and I'm now fully within 12 inches of you. So I get +1 ballistic skill. So 7 hits.
Yep.
I'm needing 6s to wound. So a single wound.
Is that on the?
That's on your
Castellex?
the Castellex. Yeah.
Okay. How many wounds did you say? 1.
1.
Okay. And
Still recording.
yeah, it is. It's just my. I plugged my phone in and it's come up with a load of pictures. I rolled a 6.
Well, 6, so that's safe. That's not a problem. Okie dokie. So then this squad here are going to Fury of the Legion
Yep.
into you here, and they are again all of them bar the back one. So all of them bar these 2 here
Yep.
are within 12 inches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, there's 6.
Yep.
I'll roll these first, and they're hitting on 3s. Okay, that's not too bad, but there's quite a few 1s and 2s. Yep. And then the next 2 who are able to rapid fire as well.
Yep.
And then finally, last one's long range and 1 reroll because it needs it before. So they've all hit.
Yep.
All those hit. And needing.
There's 5.
So you need 5s. 5s to wound.
5 to. That's all.
3s to hit and 5s to wound. So. Alright. And that's a bad miss. Oh.
Fury of the Legion always seems to do this.
Against a higher toughness target, that many shots, it's just going to whittle it down when it comes to the wounds. So that's 5 armour saves.
Okay, 5 armour saves. 1, 2, 3 are failed. I do have a 6+ feel no pain on that unit, so hopefully that will keep one of them alive. Yep, so 1's lost a wound.
Made 2 6s.
Yeah.
Jammy bastard.
I think to roll low or 6s. I don't think I've seen a 4 and a 5 from my army yet.
Okay, so then the next up will be the squad that's just disembarked,
Yep.
firing at the same target. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Right, so they've got 20 shots, rapid fire range, and they're hitting on 2s because they're within 12 inches and they didn't fury the Legion.
Yes.
So that's 18 hits, which is pretty nice. Now, let's see if I can do better than the squad that used all of their ammunition. Well, that's looking like it.
Yeah,
with the
you
glory
actually
boys.
have.
They have done much better. So I've scored 8 wounds this time.
8 wounds? Okay.
So 3 better with half as many shots.
It's always the way. So my 8 armour saves are 4 up. I fail 4 of them. With my 6 up, feel no pain.
Which you rolled 3 of.
I've rolled 3 of. I mean, I'm not deliberately cheating here. These dice came from Games Workshop, and Games Workshop wasn't. I suppose they're the Ultramarines ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
However, that is another one losing a wound
Because it's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm going to buy you a bucket at some point, Rupert, and check your dice. 'Cause it's ridiculous. Never been a better time to buy a bucket. So that's a terrible reference for anyone who got it.
If anybody gets it, please post in the comments and
Please do.
because I think it's only like 3 of us that have seen that video.
Okay, and the multi-melter. Now I was going to fire it at your Castellex,
Yep.
but actually I'm going to have to fire it at them.
Yeah.
So 1 single shot, which hits and causes a wound. And you get a 4 up cover save through the building.
Failed, and I feel no pain still.
Feel no pain.
Failed. So 1's lost another wound. I think they're 3 each.
They should be 3 each.
Yeah, they're basically jetpack Ogryns.
They're very good. They're very good.
I don't think they're an exceptional must-take troop choice, but they're very solid.
Yeah,
which I really like. They're sort of, you're not going to go far wrong taking a Phalanx Firewall, especially when there's 6 of them.
They're manoeuvrable and they can do some really serious damage output as well. And then just the fact that they can tank wounds like that when it's coming from different angles is very good.
That is probably close to 300 points in that unit.
It shows.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't do was the ambulance pattern. When it does its heat blast attack, it has to see if it damages itself.
Okay.
So on a D6 roll of a 1, I score a penetrating hit, which it doesn't.
It's fine.
Okay, so the side armour value of your Krios.
I believe it's 12.
13, 12, 10 sounds about right for a main battle tank.
It's roughly the same as a Predator. It's definitely something I'm going to get a second one. Side armour 12. Yes.
Side armour 12. Fantastic. Right. So I have 1 twin link las cannon.
Before you do that, can you just roll it there? Because I'm going to take a video that we can see.
Okie dokie. So I have 1 twin link las cannon.
Yep.
Which hits.
Yep.
Needing 3s to glance.
Yes. So it's penetrating. There's no save for that because I don't get one.
Yep, doesn't get one. And
2. So that is causing it to just snap by next turn.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's all right.
And it scores a 2nd hull point.
Yes, so it has 1 hull point left.
Yep. Unfortunately, the heavy bolters will do nothing on side armour 12. So I think that is the end of my shooting phase.
Yes.
So then onto the movement, onto the assault phase. So the actual charging aspect. The Contemptor is definitely going to charge in over here against your Myrmidons. And
that's getting in.
Again, that's twice in a row. He's rolled a 7. This guy. On the other hand, your Krios has done fantastically bad.
No, he's hit every time.
He's hit every time. He's good at hitting. My Contemptor is just he has the rage on.
Yeah.
So okay, so we'll start with that, shall we? And then move on to the next combat after.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, so he's a walker, so he gets Hammer of Wrath on the charge.
Yep. So that's
strength 7, so it wounds.
Yep. And 1 armour save. Saved.
Okay. And then actually the Contemptor goes first because he is initiative 4.
Yeah, this is probably going to murder my HQ.
So your weapon skill 4.
Yes.
I'm weapon skill 5 because of a normal Contemptor. So 5 attacks.
Yep.
3 hits, 2 misses, and strength 10, AP 2. So
1.
double ones, and a 2. So I was bigging him up, and he is catastrophically flopped.
So my 5 up, feel no pain, or 5 up invulnerable.
Yep.
Is a 2. So you've killed the Myrmidon Lord.
Okay, so that's
which
at
is
least.
the one that has an extra attack.
Okay, that's good. At least I've whittled your attacks down for the later stages of the combat. So then my 2 Justarian Terminators.
Yep.
This guy's no longer engaged, so he will just move around. So 4 attacks between them.
Yep.
And that's a bit more like it. 4 hits and 2s.
Yes.
4 wounds.
4 wounds. So
suppose you better start.
Yes. So I will, the Myrmidon. Fine. Not fine.
Not fine.
So
that's 2, and then.
Also, he is dead.
So that's your Warlord.
Yep. So that is Slay the Warlord for you. And I do get my attacks back though.
You do get your attacks
back. So I've got 3 for him.
With his
so he should be there.
Axe, yeah.
Yep. So
he's going to ask me a question.
He doesn't have hatred this turn, so that's 3 misses.
Yep.
And 2 attacks for the Myrmidon. Hits twice. Wounds twice.
And it's 2 4-up invulnerables.
Yep. You're fine.
Both fine. And then I get a consolidate move, D6 consolidate for the Justarian Terminators, but not for the Dreadnought, because he's a vehicle, even though he moves as infantry. So
no, he does get a consolidate.
Oh, he gets a consolidate. So the Terminators get 3.
Yep.
And the Contemptor gets a 4. So the Terminators over here. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty confident on that edge of the board. No, but the Contemptor is going to go over this way.
Okay.
To help finish what my land speeder has started. Okay, then the next combat I'd like to do. So, right over here, I'm charging in with my Praetor.
Yep. I believe I don't get an Overwatch for this, so I think monstrous creatures do.
Okay.
So
6 inches.
Yes.
Which comfortably brings them all in, or at least the ones at the back should.
Do they get branding?
No, I've got a couple of power weapons.
Okay.
And a power fist. No furious charge or anything like that. But the Praetor does have a master-crafted Paragon Blade.
Nice.
Which has Murderous Strike. So any 6s to wound will cause instant death.
Of course.
At AP2. So it starts with my the Praetor. And he has, 4 attacks normally?
Yep. So you should have 5
and
charge. Have you given him digital weapons as well?
Yes.
So you get 6 attacks.
6 attacks on the charge. Or to make it an absolute beast. So 6 attacks hitting on 3s.
Yep.
So 50-50, 3 hits.
And 6s to wound.
I need 6s to wound. And
you do 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
So 6 up saves in combat. First one fails, and that just murders him because it's instant death.
Oh.
Second one fails, which is going to kill the other. Well, no, he's the closest one. So, and I didn't look out Zurich.
You need to. You can look out Zurich.
I'm not going to because I'd rather have the castle egg.
Okay.
So he is also dead.
Okay.
So next, anything that can hurt a castle X.
So what toughness are 7? So I can do wounds to you. So they get a 3-inch pile in.
Yep.
At initiative step 4. So 1. So really, that should be everyone in by now.
Yes.
Or at least in base contact with someone who is. Right. So they get 2 attacks each. A combat weapon. And then they've charged. So they get 4 attacks each. So I'll do the 2 power weapons first. Just to get them over and done with. So hitting you on. What weapon skill are you?
You'll be hitting on 3s.
Okay. So hitting on 3s. Quite a reasonable amount of hits. 7 hits. I need 6s to wound.
1 wound?
1 wound. So 1 invulnerable save.
Yep, so that's a 6 up. He loses a wound, so that's the second one.
And then that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4 normal guys in the squad.
Yep.
Before the power fist attacks. So 16 attacks. Hitting on 3s.
Yep.
And that's 3 misses. And then needing 6s. Take how many wounds you got left? 2 wounds?
2 wounds, yeah.
So not a single 6.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so
Are you what initiative are you?
I am initiative 3.
Okay, and it doesn't have a power fist. He just ignores armor.
Even if he had a power fist, he's a monstrous creature, so it's like your initiative.
They ignore unwieldy, don't they?
Yeah.
Nice.
Same as Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, that's true.
So he gets 2 attacks normally. And yeah, that's it. He doesn't have power fist, but he is strength 6. So 2 hits.
Yep.
2 dead.
That's fine. I'm just going to take off models with chainswords.
Of course.
As that's
And have you got a power fist in there as well?
I have
you
a power
do,
fist.
of course.
The chieftain has the power fist. So he has a basic 3 attacks.
Yep.
Being the Reaver chieftain. And 1 for the charge.
Cool.
Great. So I've hit once. And rolled a 3, so at least he wounds.
Cool. So
you get a 6 up in vulnerable save.
yes. Which has failed, so he's lost a 3rd wound.
But anyone, I'm now outnumbering you.
Yep.
So
more attacks.
Yes. Anyone who is already attacked may make another attack, a single attack at initiative 1. So I have, 2 normal guys left.
Yep.
So no hits. 2 power weapon guys, which 1 hits and a 6, which fails.
No.
And then 1 from my Praetor, which hits, and again 6 fails.
Okay.
Wait, your toughness 7.
Yes.
Strength 5 would still need a 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, nothing.
Okay. It does appear to have a leadership value, and it's only 7. So
Okay.
you beat me by a lot. It's running. So do you want to roll your 1d6?
Yes. 2, 4.
So it's dead.
I hack you down. And then for my consolidation move, 1 inch. They are dumbfounded and just potter around trying to decide where to go next. Although, judging by the angle they're now facing, I'm pretty sure I know where they're going next.
So it moves on to my turn 3. What I need is some reserves to turn up at first.
Not quite yet.
Oh, is it not?
I need to bin off some
Okay.
things. So, I am holding objective marker 5
Yep.
at the end, so I score that one. And score 1 victory point if an enemy unit was completely destroyed during your turn. If you destroyed between 3 and 5, score D3. Now, I've taken out your Warlord,
Yep.
the Myrmidons,
Yep.
and then also the Castellax, so that's the 3.
Yep.
So that gets me an additional D3 of
3.
3. So
Nice.
it's now worth 3 points. For no prisoners.
Not bad. So,
Not bad at all.
my next objective, so this is my 3rd one, I've currently got 2, is secure objective number 3. Where is
it?
that? There.
Nice.
That's
Middle of the
doable.
board. Yeah, you possibly can.
So, I've got reserves to turn up. On a 3+, I get my squad of... Yep, there they are. The 3-man Thalax cohort arrive.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah, well, I need them now.
Yeah, it's not necessarily swinging in your favour at the moment.
At the moment, there are some problems.
Yeah, I think the Reavers did what they do best: just come on, isolate one unit, and just murder them.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is drop them on objective 3, which I need, and scatter them. They hit.
Okay.
They're all dropping into dangerous terrain. So the 2 with lightning guns, 1 fails his save, and the Feel No Pain is failed, so he's lost a wound.
Okay.
And the multi-melter is fine.
Brilliant.
What's the nice thing it does here is it puts my multi-melter in melter range of your contender.
Oh. How very convenient.
Oh yeah, it's like I planned it. I'll put him up there. He's supposed to be in base contact.
No, but if I didn't know you better, I would say that you possibly did plan it. Unfortunately, I know that you bumble between things in life.
Oh yeah.
You are like a walking, talking Jack Sparrow. You don't really have a plan. Things just kind of work.
Yep, that is my life.
Yeah.
It's why this channel has no kind of structure to it, and we just sort of do what we want.
Yeah. It works.
Okay, so the Krios is going to rotate a bit. It's going to move as fast as it likes.
Rotate the board.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It's going to go 12 inches. See if it damages itself. It doesn't.
Is it fleeing?
It's going to end its move like there.
Not cool.
So let's put it like that. Because it's snap firing anyway, and it's got a rule that allows it to go over terrain, like it's got a dozer blade, basically.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, very handy.
Typical Adeptus Mechanicus shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Now it's the other Thalas cohort has to move as well.
I would move them.
There's nothing for them over on that side of the board, so they're coming over this way.
There's nothing for you here.
So, I've forgotten which one had wounds. That had two.
And that one had one.
Okay, the Krios is going to open fire. It's fed up of your javelin, so it's firing there. 4 shots, hitting on 6s. None of them hit. Typically, it's doing nothing.
Why is it hitting on 6? Oh, because it's snap firing because of the damage.
Yeah. Next up is going to be this Thalas cohort firing its multi-melter at the Contemptor.
Yep.
Missed. 2 lightning guns at the same Contemptor. 1 hit. Failed to wound.
Okay.
Then this cohort firing at your Reavers. 2 phase plasma fusils.
Nah.
In close range, they're 3 shots each. Strength 6, AP 3.
Okay.
So that's 3 hits and 3 dead.
Okay, so it's 3 wounds to start with.
Yep.
And then my Praetor is next.
Yep.
And he's just going to take an armor save. Is it AP 2 or 3?
AP 3.
So just a 12 armor save.
Yeah, he's alright. Then 4 lightning guns. Scoring 3 hits and 3 wounds.
So again, 3 2-up armor saves on him.
Yes.
All passed.
Okay.
But that will be a leadership check, as they've lost 2 guys.
Cool. My tech thralls will fire a little bit. So
2 dice next to him to remember to take the leadership check.
they can all see, so there's 10 of them there.
Yeah.
They've got a strength 4 gun, which is quite nice, but they're only hitting on 5s.
Okay.
So it's 5 hits.
Not very good.
Why are these the ones that are doing well?
Because you insulted them earlier.
Yeah. 2 wounds.
Okay, and 2 2-ups.
That's fine. And that's it for my shooting phase. So it's going to be the assault phase.
Leadership at the end of the shooting. So leadership for these guys. So 8 they have passed thanks to the Praetor's leadership 10.
Okay. So I'll start with the jump moves. This squad is going to do 3.
Run away.
Yeah. And they can't do it because they've just deep struck. So these guys charging your cataphracts.
Yeah, brilliant.
That is.
That's in.
Yeah, nicely in.
That's 10, obviously minus 2 for the going through cover. So yeah, 8 inches. Good solid charge.
Send some basically glorified servitors into you.
Yeah,
but they're fearless. So
it's also stopping me from shooting you, stopping you up first.
Yeah.
So
and getting +1 attack on the charge.
Yeah, that is true. So see if you can drag down my last 2 glorious just there Terminators. And by glorious, I obviously mean hardened criminals.
So I'm actually striking you first.
Yeah.
Because
you have
power
2 power fists.
With 2 attacks each on the charge. I'll do 2 lots of 10. So first bunch of attack.
Nice.
3 hits.
Yep.
And the second bunch of attacks. not bad.
The weapon skill, hit me on 4s, aren't they?
Yeah. With 1, 2, they actually strength 4. I knew there was one of them. We're getting 5 wounds.
5 wounds. Okay, so I have 5 armor saves to make on those 2 guys, and I failed 2, so 1 dies.
That's pretty impressive, really.
It is impressive.
They're taking on the role of sort of star unit in my army at the moment.
They're doing pretty nicely.
Well, they can hit things, which is quite nice.
And then I get 2 attacks back.
Yep.
So I need to kill both of these, otherwise I fail the combat. So 2 hits.
Yep.
And 2s to kill. Yeah, 2
dead.
smush.
So I'll just take these 2 off.
They've just been fisted.
Yes.
So that's a drawn combat.
Yes. I have initiative, so you
guys pile in.
Cool. So that's the end of my turn. In hindsight, I don't have a lot left on the table, so it's pointless skipping through turn 4. We're actually going to record it properly, but it is Tom's turn 4.
Okie dokie, so I'm going to draw 2 more objectives. First one being Assassinate, which is score 1 victory point at the end of your turn if at least 1 enemy character was removed.
Is that during the game?
It is during your turn.
Okay, you might want to... I have no characters left, so you can discard that.
Oh, no, it's fine, because I'll just bin it off at the end of the turn. If I need to. And secure objective 4, which is score 1 victory point if you control objective marker 4, which is this one here.
Okay.
That's a bit more of a difficult one to do for what I was planning, but it's still very possible.
Yep.
So I now have a choice, as we said before with the Maelstrom missions. Do I go for the wipeout, or do I try and play to the mission?
Yes.
So in true Sons of Horus style, I'm going to play for the wipeout.
Of course you are.
So this squad that furied last turn are going to start moving this way.
Yep.
To try and get the charge off onto your Thalax. Contempt the Dreadnought. He's going to come back this way and assist that last little just there in Terminator. You are still recording as well. Right. Then I think even moving 12 is going to be a difficult one to get a decent shot off on that bloody thing. So I'm going to risk it. Just go straight at it instead.
Yep.
Take it face on. Then that leaves a couple more units. So the Reavers and my Praetor are going to go 12 inches to here.
Yep.
And hope I can take on a little unit of Thalax. They should be able to. And finally, my Rhino is going to pivot and go 6 inches to there.
I really didn't think about what that Rhino's armed with.
Yes. The pintle-mounted multi-melter is a great little attachment, and hopefully it'll earn its points back.
Yes.
Right, so shooting. I'll start over here with the Reavers, so 4 bolt pistols into your Thalax. The unit right in front of them. So 4 hits, 112, and needing 5s. So 1 wound.
1 wound, 1 armor save. Passed.
Problem. Then this squad on objective marker 4, I'm going to Fury of the Legion into your Thalax.
Okay.
There's only the front 5 are in rapid fire range. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'll roll the first 20 shots.
Yep.
And then do the next 10 after that. So 20 shots hitting on 3s. And then the last 10.
Yep.
So 2, 4, 6, 10. There's it. And then these ones hitting on 3s as well. wounding on 5s.
Yep.
Not too shabby. Again, this unit proving that they are the glory boys in our tactical squads. And getting another 8 wounds. Same as their normal shooting, so that's pretty good.
So 8 wounds overall, 4 plus saves, failing 3 of them, 6 plus feel no pains.
Passing 2 of them.
Yeah, so 1 is dead, but it seems to be the main thing that squad's been good for is passing feel no pains.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
It's where all my 6s have gone.
Right, so I'm going to start next with my land speeder, because your Krios has 1 hull point left.
Yes.
And I'm going to go for it. I want the land speeders to get the glory.
Of course you do.
So, 1 twinning las cannon, which misses.
So it's 20. Hits.
Hits, because of strafing run.
Yep.
And your front armour is 13, is it not?
Yes, but I have a flare shield bringing up to, knocking
minus
your
C
weapons
down to strength 8 rather than strength 9. So I need a 5 to glance, 6 to penetrate.
Yep.
1.
Nope, so it does nothing, but you've got the multi-melter in the rear if you need
So, next shot will be the multi-melter.
Yep.
Which hits.
2d6. Does the job, see if it explodes.
It explodes.
So that's just taken off because it's not going to hurt anything around it.
6 inches, so big explosion, finally.
But it's gone.
It is gone.
After doing absolutely nothing.
Yep, that earned its points back.
Oh yeah. Either distracted your land raider or land speeder.
Rupert, it looked very nice. That's what matters. It looked cool.
I've got some pretty good shots of the Rhino, the Krios, and the land speeder. Looking brilliant.
Perfect. That's what matters. So that is actually all my shooting.
Okay.
So then that's down to my charges.
Yes.
So I want to declare all my charges. So the Reavers are going to go into the Phalanx. So
yep.
You get your Overwatch.
So I've got 2 lightning guns, both miss. 1 multi-melter, missed.
And
5 minus 2.
So a 3-inch charge.
But that's just it.
Gets my Praetor in at least. So he goes in.
The Praetor is the one that I really don't want to be in.
Yeah, he's not a nice fellow.
No, considering what he's just done to the Cassalex, I think the Phalanx are not so good for him.
Not particularly. He is a bit of a dick. So, again, I get 6 attacks on the charge.
Yep.
3 hits. And toughness 5.
Yep.
So, strength 5 of the Paragon Blade, needing 4s to wound and 6s causing instant death.
Yes.
So I rolled a 2 and 2 1s. He has been ineffective this time.
Cool.
Then I believe it's my power weapon and my normal guy.
Yes.
Initiative 4. So they move in 3 inches. So the guy with the power sword gets 4 attacks. Weapon skill 4, and you are?
Weapon skill 4, I think.
Okay, so no hits with the power sword. And the normal guy behind him got 3 hits, needing 5s.
Yep.
So 1 armor save.
Okay, 1 armor save. Passed.
Okay, so
I have 2 attacks for each of them.
Okay, bloody hell. You might actually do.
So the 2 with heavy chain blades, getting 2 hits and wounding on 2s. So that's 2 wounds.
2 armor saves, just on the normal squad members. Both fine. Okay,
and then the multi-melter guy just has a normal close combat weapon, fails to hit with either.
And then it's the Reaver Chieftain.
Yep, you've got your power fist.
And again, he's got 3 attacks basic and 1 for the charge. And that's a bit better. He's got 4 hits and 2s to wound.
Yep.
So 3 6 up feel no pains.
3 6 up feel no pains, not a problem.
And then on top of that, I then get my. You'll count as are they bulky models?
Yes, they are.
And that means I am outnumbering you. You have 3 bulky models, and I have 4.
Okay, so I've got 2 failed feel no pains, so that is 1 dead as well.
Okay.
Please, I'll just drop this guy down, allowing him to stand up properly.
And then, because of my merciless fighters rule, initiative step 1, I outnumber you.
Yep.
I get to attack again with everyone with 1 attack. So the
yes.
normal guy hits and fails to wound.
Yep.
Power sword hits this time and fails to wound. And my Praetor fails to hit.
Okay, so I've lost the combat by 1. Actually, got 2, and I'm running.
Okay.
1d6, 5, 3.
3.
I get away.
Yeah, because you do. So
I roll 3d6 based on having jetpacks, which only sends me 7 inches back.
Not quite off the board.
No. Okay.
Then the Contemptor.
Yes, he's getting in.
A consistent 7, no? 3rd time in a row. So he's charging in there. And he gets 5 attacks on the charge.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s. So that's 4 hits. And 2s to kill.
Yep.
So that's 2 1s and 2 4s. So that's 2 dead.
Okay. Sadly, even though they've got carapace armour and feel no pain, that's not helping them.
Not this time. Not with the Dreadnought.
No. There's then 1, 2, 3, 6 of them to go against your Terminator.
Yep.
Getting 4 hits.
Nice.
And 4 to wound. 3 wounds.
Right then, so 3 saves on the Terminator.
Yep. Loses a wound.
Loses a wound. So he's down to 1 wound. But luckily he's got 1 left.
Yep.
And 2 attacks with his Power Fist. 1 hit. Fails to wound.
Okay, so that is, I've done 2, you've done 1, I'm fearless, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
The combat carries on. That was probably the ideal way that combat could have gone for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think a moral victory to you there. And then finally, over here, I'd like to charge into your Thallax. So you do your Overwatch.
Yes, so I've got 1 plasma fusel and a 2nd plasma fusel.
Yep.
All miss. Followed by 3 lightning guns, because you've killed one of them now. All miss.
Okay. And I go 9 inches. Yep, needing a 6 to get in, so do you mind just move that to the other side?
Yeah, that's fine.
So he goes 6 inches to there. And 9 inches to there. The rest of them jump in behind where they can.
Brilliant.
So, your initiative.
Yeah, I'll be in lower initiative than you
So,
are.
initiative 4 piling. So, 3 inches for him. Alright, so everyone's going to be attacking.
Yes.
So, from the squad, they've got extra combat weapons each. So that's 27 attacks.
Yep.
2,
That's a mental
4,
number of
6,
attacks.
8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So I'll roll 20 first.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the benefit to giving them the extra combat weapons. Just makes them that little bit more tactically flexible. Until you roll like that. So, about 50-50.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then another 7 after that.
Yep.
Which gets 5 more hits.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible at all, but still need to wound.
Yep. Even 5.
And that is, I might as well just pick out the ones that actually hit.
Yep.
So there you go, that's 4 wounds.
Yep. So 4 armor saves of 4 up, failing 2 of them, followed by 6 up for no pain, which I pass 1.
So it's 1 wound.
Means I get all my attacks back, which is nice.
And I also then get my sergeant,
Yep.
who has 2 attacks basic and then 1 for charging.
Yep.
So he gets 3 attacks with a lightning claw. All 3 hit.
Yep.
And needing 5s with a reroll. So 1 wound and 2 rerolls thanks to Shred. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
So that's 2 6-up invulnerables only.
Yes.
Feel no pains.
Yeah, feel no. Yeah. Which will go on the plasma fusel guy because he is a bit closer to your lightning claw. Failing both, so he takes 2 wounds.
No worries.
Then it's my attack back. So 1 pile in and another 1 to pile in. I have 3 guys with heavy chain blades, giving me 6 attacks for them.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3 hits. That's strength 7. Ooh. So 3 armor saves for them.
And they kill 1 guy.
Yep.
So that's 1.
And then 2 guys that don't have heavy chain blades, getting 1 hit and failing to wound.
Okay.
So I lose combat by.
Wait, it's now down to initiative step 1. And how many models have you got?
I've got 5, but I'm bulky.
But that counts as 10. And I've just lost 1, so I don't outnumber you. I don't then get my merciless fighters rule.
Which is a mercy on me.
Yeah, it is.
That wasn't deliberately meant to be a joke, but
I know,
it sort of ended up being one. I did lose combat though by 2.
Yeah.
So I'm running 1d6.
Yep.
Oh, that's bad. I think that's
what,
killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wiped me. Cheers.
And I get a d6 consolidate
Bad
move
for this unit.
of 2. So I'm going to consolidate 2 inches towards objective mark of 4. So next turn I should be able to comfortably run towards it and jump on.
Yes. So
it dies.
I've got my turn 4. It's been one of those games. Like actually, 3 of the games I've played on this channel have gone like this.
I know.
Actually, no. The one against Josh when we played Attack, we went right down to the wire. It was really good. But yeah, so my next objective, secure objective 6. That's really helpful because objective 6 is that one, and I'm never going to get that.
No.
Let's see if my Thanax cohort here regroups, which they do. It's not a huge amount for them to do. They get a 3-inch move and some snap firing, but it might hurt your land speeder.
Yep.
Which they're going to try doing now. So a multi-melter snap firing, missed. A lightning gun snap firing, missed.
Okay.
So that's my shooting phase done. Onto the combat phase. Here you've got your dreadnought.
Yep. So he would have moved in a bit more when those guys died. So he's got 4 attacks this turn.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s, which all 4 hit, and cutting people up on 2s. Ooh, double 1 again. In fact, the same roll, double 1, double 4. So another 2. He's been consistent, that dreadnought.
Okay, so my attack's back.
Yes.
One of them is in base contact with the dreadnought, so it has to attack the dreadnought.
Okay.
The other 3 will attack your Terminator and hope he dies. They get 3 hits, and no wounds.
Okay. And then my Just Aaron Terminator gets 2 attacks back. Both hit at last. And 2 wounds.
Okay. Like I made him angry.
Yeah. Well, seeing all his friends die around him, piss off anyone.
So basically, lobotomized people. Okay, so that brings it to turn 5. We may as well do turn 5 now. I'm not scoring any more objectives. And I have 4 models left on the table. So, Tom?
Yep.
Take it away.
Okay, so difficult terrain test for my Reaver squad with
Yep.
the Praetor. They move up to 7. Well, not up to 7, it's 4 inches. So they move 4. And they're walking out.
Okay.
Which will mean they can use their jump packs to charge if they wish. Then this squad over here move 6 inches towards the objective.
Yep.
So they can now score objective mark of 4. The javelin is going to jump backwards 12 inches to here and get a nice shot off on them.
Yep.
And actually, just to finish it off, the Rhino is going to move 6 inches to there.
Yep.
And try and just do something horrible. So I'll start with the Reavers.
Yes.
4 bolt pistols against your phalanx.
Okay.
3 hits because they're within 12.
Yes.
Not a sausage, as Courtney would say. So then the javelin land speeder will fire. So starting with the heavy bolter.
Yep.
1 hit.
Yep.
And nothing.
No,
It's a strength 5, so it needs something better than that. And then the las cannon hits because you are a ground
Yes.
target. Yep. And nothing.
For once, your rolling is bad.
My rolling has been bad. So this squad over here, they've moved, but they're all within 24 inches.
Yes.
So they can all fire. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bolt guns. And three misses, so
Yep.
7 hits, needing 5s to wound. They're doing all right. That's 3 wounds.
Cool. So 3 armor saves. All fine.
All fine. The phalanx just would not die. Then the multi-melter from the Rhino is in. So a single shot, which rolls a 1. So ineffective. Okay, so I suppose I'll be charging in with my Reavers. Gets all my shooting done nice and quickly. So the Reavers are going to charge into there. If you like to do your Overwatch.
So a multi-melter, missed. A lightning gun, hits.
Okay.
And that wounds you.
Okay, I'm going to look out, sir, from my Praetor onto the guy next to him, which he fails, and he gets a 2-up arm save, which he passes.
Yep.
And they're charging in with jump packs, so they get to use fleet. And a 6. So that's, that's comfortable. That'll get them in. So that's 1, at least 2 that got into base contact, so that'll be 2 Hammer of Wrath attacks. So 2 Hammer of Wrath.
Yep.
With 1 wound. So 1 armor save caused from a 6.
So armor save failed and a feel no pain failed. So I'll stick that in.
Okay. Right, now my Praetor will attack.
Yes.
6 attacks, hitting on 3s. And what's that?
Mastercrafted, right?
It is mastercrafted, and I have forgotten that the entire game. So 4 hits.
So I forgot something very important, which I'll speak about at the end.
Okay. And your toughness 5.
Yep.
So that's 3 wounds.
3 wounds and 3 feel no pains. 1 passes, so
He's
this
face
guy. He's
contact with
got.
that guy, so he's still alive with 1 wound left.
They're doing nicely.
My power sword guy will move in.
Yep.
So I'll do the normal guy first. So normal attacks. 2 hits, needing 5 to wound. No wounds. Then the power sword.
Yep.
With 3 hits. Again needing 5s. So single wound.
Feel no pain fails, so they've each got a wound left. I do have to get my attacks back.
That you do.
Which is my heavy chain blade getting 2 attacks, 1 hit, and wounds on 2.
Taking that on the normal guy with the chainsword is fine.
Cool. Just filled up my phone with
video.
So, what was that?
That was.
So someone's fine. So now it's my multi-melter. 1 hit, fails to wound. So I've lost the combat again.
Then my power fist.
Oh yeah,
so we're not quite done with you yet.
Yet.
So 4 attacks from the power fist on the charge.
Yep.
3 hits, and then 2s to wound. So 3 wounds.
So 3 nothing. Oh, 3 no pains, which by all fail. So these 2 are also dead.
Okay. And consolidate of 2 inches, but there's
no real reason to.
Just spread out. And then the combat over here, where I get 4 attacks on my Contemptor for a single hit, which kills 1. So you are down to 1 tech thrall.
So I've got my 1 attack. Is he going to do it?
1 tech thrall. Can he kill the Terminator?
He hits.
He hits.
He wounds.
Fucking. Oh god, no.
No, it's a 5.
He survives. To attack back with 2 power fist attacks.
Yep.
1
hits
hit.
once, so he needs to hit once. And does it.
Wound.
And that is my army dead.
That is it.
So yeah, great game.
Yeah, cheers. Good. Good fun.
Yeah, it was a learning curve.
For both sides, actually.
Yeah.
Like things worked better than expected. I had some good luck, and I think, unfortunately, thanks to that Krios failing miserably on every turn, it just kind of, that was your big anti-tank. It just really let you down.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't even get a glancing.
Yeah,
but
me too.
That is how the dice roll. That happens.
You win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
I have lost the last 3 games in a row with these Sons of Horus. It's quite nice to actually get a win for a change.
Yeah, and well, it's nice to see a lovely army like that getting a win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And by lovely, I assume you mean painting, rather than the kind of people that they are.
Oh no, the Sons of Horus were horrible people.
Yeah. I have plenty of trophies all over the place where they've taken notable skulls. For example, my Praetor has a couple of hooks attached to his belt for catching people.
Which is just horrible when you think about it. I mean, the worst thing about this game is I only killed 1 unit.
Yeah, that is...
and even then, it was difficult to take it down. And I don't think that was even the thought of my tactics. I mean, my tactics were poor in this game in a lot of ways.
But you're still learning how the army works. And again, it's just down to failing saves at the worst time, running from combat, and then being hacked down twice is never good. And then unfortunately, like you say, that Krios just really underperforming. Yeah.
I'm sure it won't do that too much in the future.
Well,
but now I've got that in video format, it probably will.
Yeah, you've jinxed it now.
Yeah, it's probably... Do you remember the Shadow Sword I used to have? That, despite being a Titan killer, couldn't ever kill a vehicle.
Abysmal luck.
Yeah. I sold that to somebody, and hopefully they're having better luck with it than I am.
Hopefully they're not. For their opponents, anyway.
Yeah. So that is it.
I guess time to pack up and get ready to watch Doctor Who. Really.
Yes, we've got that in 20 minutes. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It's probably a bit longer than I was expecting to make it. We only skipped to the 1 turn, but that's fine. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy it. If you don't, if you hated it, definitely don't subscribe because
still give us a like.
Yeah. Or a dislike. Apparently, the algorithm counts dislikes as being a positive as well.
Well, because someone's watched it.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's no such thing as bad press.
Well, Rebecca Black has the most hated video on YouTube.
I am not surprised.
It is one of the worst songs I've ever heard. And that comes up on people's recommended still because it's got so many dislikes. Well, it's got to check it out if it's that bad.
Oh God, yeah. I think that's human nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like picking a scab.
But anyway, we've completely gone from the point of please like and subscribe. We've gone somehow in the space of a minute. We went to it's like picking a scab, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you for the invite, Rupert, and hopefully you'll have me back on the show.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got some plans. Hopefully, I'll get Josh involved in doing a video about what we're planning for the next month. I'm looking into getting the Doctor Who board game that Warlord Games have just published. It's called Exterminate. Looks like a lot of fun. So hopefully next week that'll be the video that I'm publishing with whoever I can get hold of to play it against me. But yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching and
goodbye.
Yes, see you next time.